Hello everyone, thank you for joining us for this Introduction to Prodocs webinar. We're going to give everyone just a few minutes to get signed in here before we begin, so if you're joining us, just hang tight a few minutes and we'll get started shortly. If you've already started using Prodocs and have specific questions that you want answered in this webinar, just go ahead and send those to us now using your chat window in the upper right-hand corner of your screen. And depending on how many of those questions we get, we can try to address those during the demo today. Otherwise, we'll leave them for our Q&A after the webinar. So hang tight, we'll get started shortly. All right, everyone. It looks like everyone's here that's in attendance, so let's go ahead and get started. Thanks again for joining us for this Intro to Prodocs webinar. We're going to go ahead and get started. My name is Bethany Lewis. I'm in marketing here at Scope Technologies. The webinar is about 35 minutes today. As we're moving through it, just use that chat window in the upper right-hand corner of your screen to send us any questions you have, and we'll address those in the Q&A, which I will be doing after the webinar. If you have any audio or visual difficulties, just let us know using that chat window as well. All right, so just a quick overview of what we'll be covering today. We're going to look at the highlights of Prodocs. We want you to see how this tool will save you just boatloads of time, and how once you have the hang of it, it'll really change the way you do business. We're going to go over how to order a scope. We realize that some of you may be starting with Prodocs and you already know how to order scope reports from us, but we're going to run through it briefly today just to demonstrate how to move seamlessly from a completed scope right into Prodocs. It's really kind of the design of it. And of course, any new users who may not have ordered a scope report should be really helpful for you, and it will show you how the tool was designed to work optimally. So we're going to show you that. The Prodocs and then we're going to go over the Prodocs tool, just kind of a high-level introduction. We'll jump from how to order the scope right into the Prodocs tool. Again, it's kind of a high level just to get you started and help you generate any questions that you might have. So it's sort of a roadmap. We'll have great tutorial videos that we can show you. We also have great tutorial videos that show you how to do very specific things in Prodocs, and we'll show you where all of that lives on the site during this overview. And then we'll follow up with the Q&A. So let's take just a quick look at the highlights of Prodocs and why we designed it the way that we did. Number one, it's yours to customize with your company logo, your color scheme, your pricing, line items, taxes, markups, notes, everything is yours to customize. We designed Prodocs to be malleable for your business needs. That said, there's a little bit of work needed in the beginning just to set up the templates the way you want them, but once that's done and you really start running with it, you'll see how you can turn days of measuring and crunching numbers and inputting data into a few click process. Imagine how much more time you can, or how much more you can do with that extra time. Number two, Prodocs allows you to create templates based on your business needs. If you need to build out multiple templates based on the area, country, city in which you're doing your projects, you can build separate templates based on, say, city tax. For example, I know here in Denver, ice and shield isn't required for auxiliary structures, so maybe you want to base them on location, you can do that. If you always handle certain types of roofs the same way, like steep roof versus flat roof, or maybe by roof type, asphalt versus wood shake or tile, whatever you want. These are your templates. You can create as many as you need. And number three, Prodocs is designed to help you optimize your business. When you use scope reports with your saved Prodocs templates, we basically do the math for you each time. You set the parameters for your templates for what you want to deliver to your client every time. And then when you roll the scope report into the templates, we do that math for you. And when you build out your templates, like we're going to show you today, you'll have those ready to go. As soon as you order your scope report, our technicians go to work on your structure, and whether you're looking for roofing, siding, gutters, or even multiple trades in one order or project, you can do that. Once we complete those and notify you that they're ready, you can click on that scope report and hit generate and see your completed estimates super fast. Again, that's after you have your templates built. So let's Let's move on. I just want to emphasize that Prodocs is really just designed to be as simple or as complex as you need to get. So keep that in mind as we're going through this. The benefit is that once you have your template set up and you know how to get the most out of the tool, you can make the most complex jobs simple. So let's go ahead and begin ordering our scopes. We'll just run through the process here. I'm on the main site right now. Again, you can order whatever your trade is. If you're doing roofing, siding, gutters, you can order your scopes from any of our sites, but I'm on the main site right now and you can order it there as well. So I'm going to enter an address here. I'm going to enter an address 3335 Pear Tree Court in Colorado Springs. I'm going to search that address. And it's going to pull up my map here, and I'm going to make sure the marker's on the correct location. You want to make sure it's on the house, not falling on the street or floating up the river or something crazy like that. So that looks right. I'm going to hit confirm location. Then here I can select my property type. I'm going to select residential and small. The info icons will give you a gauge of the size of your property, but in this case it's under 50 squares, so I'm going to hit small. For my auxiliary buildings, there is a shed with this property, but if I go ahead and leave this checked, they're going to go ahead and create a, or scope all of the buildings on the property. So I can just leave this blank here and they'll scope everything. Over here where I've got my reports, I'm going to do a roof. And I usually do gutters with my roofs, let's just say. So I'm going to go ahead and mark that here. I'm going to say add to cart. And there are my roof scopes. Right here I can edit the labels if I want. I'm just going to leave them with their address as they are. And then I would go ahead and hit place order. I've got my gutter there. Right now I'm not going to actually click it because I've already ordered this. So rather than have it process a duplicate order, for the sake of this demo, I'm not going to hit that, but you'd hit place order. And typically it takes 24 to 48 hours to process scopes. Once those, we're just fast forwarding time here, once those, you receive an email notification that those are processed, then I can go to My Scopes. And I'm going to see my scope reports here. Let's go ahead and take a look at what those look like. Got my roof and gutter. So the roof, I can see on the left-hand side, I've got all of my data points here. It's very condensed, real clean look. We've got our clear aerial imagery. Then I can go down and I can see my plain view drawing of my structure 1, that's the main house. And I scroll down, I've got my structure 2, that's the shed. And then let's take a look at the other scope. And there's my gutter scope, obviously fewer data points. And as you scroll down, you'll just see that there's the main structure. We don't have a structure 2 because we don't typically do gutters on sheds. So it's very smart. Okay, so got my completed scopes. We recommend ordering scopes online or by text so that you can go through that process of verifying the location. If you call in, you can definitely place orders that way, but it's a little bit more back and forth because you're not able to verify the location. So we recommend ordering online or by text. So now once you have a Prodocs template created, you'll be able to go into your completed scopes in the My Scopes page and generate your estimates from there. We're going to show you how that works later on in this webinar. So let's go ahead and jump into Prodocs now. If you haven't done it yet, the first place to start is by creating a template. The very first thing we want to do is go into our settings. And if you haven't done this yet, you're going to go ahead and assign your company color and a logo. So take a look at how the color works here. If you happen to know the specific number, you can enter it here. But you can select your company color here. And then I've already got my logo here, but just so you can see it, we can click on it. You can click and drag or upload a file into here for your logo. And that's the simplest, that's the first step. Then we're going to go into our template manager and create our first template. So down here on My Estimate Templates, you'll see all of these. This is just for demo. We've already built all of these, but normally the first time you're coming in here, you're not going to see any of these. So the first thing you'll want to do is select Create a New Template. So we're going to go into our template editor here. I'm going to name this one Roof and Gutter Demo. Okay, and here, the scope report type, this is where I could select all of the different reports I want to use. So I can, since we did a roof scope and a gutter scope report, I can add those here. For our purposes today, we're going to show you how to actually add those once you're in the estimate. So I'm going to leave those blank right now, but I wanted you to see that. So the first time you get started, we have starter templates. This one, we're going to go ahead and do a roofing insurance. I don't know if you've been to Colorado Springs, but they are notoriously, they're famous for their hailstorms and really nasty storms. So we're going to assume this is insurance and pick our roofing insurance. Okay, and then this is going to drop me into my document editor. You can see that there's different navigation up top. Okay, so I've got my structure 1 here. And this is a blank slate template. This is completely yours to edit. You don't have to worry about messing anything up here. So right now I'm going to go ahead and name my structure. I know I want to make my first structure the main house. Okay. So you can edit those things here. You can also edit the roof, but I don't have a need to do that right now, but that's an option. We'll look at the line items in a moment here, but right now we're going to scroll down to Add Category. And this is where I'm going to add the gutter category because I did that gutter scope with this roof. Okay, and then there's there's also, you can add additional categories. We can add structures here. I'm not going to do that for this demo. Project notes if I need them, and a footer note field. We'll get to cover taxes and markups in just a bit. Right now I want to go up to the line items. And you'll notice that all quantities are showing 0 because there's no scope data associated. So all of our quantities that are normally going to be filled in our scopes are not filling over here. Right now what we want to do is focus on entering the unit prices. So let's just open up a line item here, line item number 2. And if you know your overall unit costs, you can enter it here. Or you have the option to edit, and Prodocs will calculate it for you. So let's go through that example. I'm going to add a labor cost of 130. Material costs I'm going to leave blank right now. Overhead, we'll put 15%. Profit, we'll enter 25. And we'll see our adjusted unit price here. I can also enter a waste factor. Let's go ahead and put 10. So we'll show you how this looks once you're using the data from your scope report later on, and you can always adjust it once you're working with real data. But right now we just want you to see how to build out your pricing in your first template. So you would do this for all of your line items. But in the interest of saving time today, we're going to jump to a completed template in just a second here. When you have your unit pricing done, you can hit save. And let's jump over to our completed template so you can see what that looks like. This is just for example. And right now you can see that all of my unit pricing here is done. Okay. So now that we're here and all of our unit pricing is done, let's take a look at how taxes and markups work. If you scroll to the bottom of your estimate, you'll see the section for taxes and markups. There's also a shortcut to it at the top here. So down in this section, here I can add or delete custom tax fields. The state tax, we can see, is already populated with 8%, but that can be changed. I can apply it to material costs only. If you have material costs in each line item, or you can apply a percentage to the total cost. Right here we have 40%, so I'm going to leave it at that. Then in markups, click my overhead field. I can choose to apply these to all line items in my estimate or to select line items with O&P checked. Now what this means is I can set this at each line item above. So if I go back up to my line items, we'll look at line item number 2 again. I can check this apply to O&P box. This part's a little bit tricky. If you've already applied O&P in your advanced options here, which is what we just did a moment ago, Checking this box would add the additional O&P you have set below, and you probably don't want to do that. That would double up on it. So since I have these costs applied to each line item, I'm just going to go ahead and remove the markup section at the bottom. So I don't want to apply this twice. I've already said by checking that box above that I don't want to apply additional O&P. I want to apply it per the line item. It's already been there, already been applied. If you'd rather apply overall O&P to your estimate, it's actually easier to do it down below. This looks good. So once you're done editing, go ahead and hit save. You also have the option to save it as a completely new template, but I'm just going to go ahead and hit save and exit out. So the last thing you want to do before bringing in your scope report with all of the data, we're going to go back into the template manager. And right here is where we're going to tell our scope reports which template we want to use as a default each time we hit the generate button. So each report type has unique data that will pull into Prodocs. So associating the correct report type for your templates is really, really useful. This doesn't mean that you have to use the template, this template each time, but you'll see how you can select a different template when you hit generate. But this sets it as a default. It's a huge time saver, so you can associate multiple report types with a template, and it will save you lots of time if you're doing the same type of report consistently. We're going to go into our roof template, or roof scope. So I ordered a roof scope report. I want to tell that roof scope report that I'd like to use the roof and gutter that I just created. I'm also going to do the same with the gutter scope because I've ordered a gutter scope report. Okay, so that's going to save it as my default, and you'll see what that looks like in a minute here. Okay, so now we can generate an estimate from a scope report using the template that we just created. So let's generate our first template. We're going to go into the My Scopes page. So this is assuming it's been 24 to 48 hours. I've received notification that my scope reports are done. From My Scopes, I'm going to just select one report here. So we're just going to go with the roof scope for now. I'm going to hit Generate Document. This drops me onto my document setup page. All I have to do now is fill out the quick details on this page, and I'm ready to review my estimate. So I can edit the name if I want. I'm just going to go ahead and leave it though as the address. Right here is where I can bring in that gutter scope report that's on the same property. So this is where it's really helpful. This is already going to bring in all of the data for it, and we've built our template to incorporate that. I can add a property owner. Pretty much anytime you do a different report, a different property or project, you're going to have a unique property owner. So you'll probably want to edit this each time. I can enter a new one, or everything that you enter gets saved for future use. So I'm just going to go ahead and select one for this demo. Right here, the select template is where I can take a look at. It's already assigning it because I just told it that I want to use roof and gutter templates for a roof scope report and a gutter scope report. So it's already there, but I can click Change Template and choose a different template if I want to do something different each time. But I'm going to go ahead and use my roof and gutter. I'm going to hit Continue. And this is going to drop me into my document editor again. So I can review it here. Right now I can see all my quantities are populated with my the data from the roof scope report. So I can scroll down. You can see the totals here are calculating with the unit pricing that we've already assigned. Got my second structure. Everything looks good. I can hit Generate Estimate, and it's going to drop me into my preview mode. From here I can edit, print, download, or I can email to myself. This won't go to external users, but I can email it to myself with this function. As I'm looking at this, I can make sure everything looks good. We have our main house, structure 1, we have our gutter, got my structure 2. I can add notes directly in here if I wanted to edit this. I can change it from 15 to 30. Great. Okay, now what if I decide that I want to edit the name of my second structure? Can't actually do that from in here. I need to go back into the editor, but it's real simple. You just click the edit pencil. I can go up to my structure 2, and I can edit it right in here. We're just going to go ahead and call this the shed. We'll hit Generate again so we can see the finished product. there it is. It's so beautiful. If I scroll all the way down, we'll just take a look at the total price. So for those of you contractors that are watching this demo, when you heard that roughly 22 square property, you're probably kind of thinking of an estimate. When you add in that shed and we're doing gutters, hopefully this estimate is on par with what you were thinking. So looks nice and crisp. We've got our colors, we've got our logo, looks good to go. And that's it. That is the beauty of Prodocs. What's really nice about this, our tool, as well, is that you can access this anytime, anywhere from a mobile device or a tablet. So even if you're on the job site and you're needing to provide an estimate or just to edit a couple of items, you can do that on site and produce a new clean document, email it out. Probably hard to print on site, but you can edit it and email it from there. So it's really, really nice. So that's pretty much it. That's pretty much how Prodocs works. I'm just going to go ahead and show you real quick how you can find the Prodocs FAQs in the tutorial videos. So we'll go into, here we go. Here's our frequently asked questions. Those should have helpful answers for you. And then if you scroll to the bottom, there's video tutorials, and those kind of go a little bit more in depth with specific topics there. So those should be really helpful for you. So that's pretty much it. I want to thank you for joining us for this webinar. We know that getting started with a new tool can be a challenge. It takes a little time up front, but that's why we're here to answer your questions. We'll be rolling out all kinds of helpful tools as we create enhancements for Prodocs. And we have experts on hand to help you along the way. So just give us a call or email us anytime. So thank you. I want to open up the question and answer period now. So if you have questions, just go ahead and send them to us in the upper right-hand chat window, and we can go ahead and answer those. I see one right now. The first question is, how can I provide a lump sum estimate that doesn't display all of my line item pricing? That's a great question. So we actually have a lot of contractors that use this with our RoofScope X reports, actually. RoofScope X's provide you with just an overall square. So when you need a really quick measurement, and then you want to be able to provide a quick estimate for retail or for the bidding process, this is a really helpful tool. And what we would recommend is having a template specifically for lump sums. And actually we've got one right here we can look at. So just to show you how this would work, you'd have to create this template like we just went through, but once you have that, we can create a new doc. We'll just name it lump sum demo. Okay, then we can associate a report. Let's just use the same one. We'll just do a roof. We can add our property owner info. Then here, normally we'd see whatever, normally we'd see whatever default we have set as a template, but I can also, this is where it's helpful to be able to choose below. So I'm going to pick my roof's estimate lump sum. I'll hit continue. And as I scroll up, you can see that this is where it just populates the quantity here. And I've got my unit pricing that I've already assigned. When I hit generate estimate, you're just going to go ahead and see, you're just going to see that one lump sum. And it's for both structures. So there's a total amount there, but it's not giving you the breakdown of all the line items. So again, this is really helpful for retail and in the early bidding stages. Okay. My next question is, I have a 2-week free Prodocs trial, but I don't have any reports to order at the moment. Is there a way I can try it without ordering a report? Yes, you can. We'll just go ahead and show you on here. You can email us or call us and let us know that you want to try out Prodocs because you have the trial but you don't have a report. We can put a sample scope report in your account, something that you can kind of play around with and get real familiar with the tool if you don't actually have any reports to order at the moment. So yeah, great question. The next question is, can I do work orders? That's a good question as well. Soon. The answer to that is soon. We will be launching that this summer. We're currently in the testing phases of our work order tool. So that should be launching sometime this summer. If you stay tuned with our, if you've signed up for our emails, you'll receive notification of when that's launching. So yeah, we're very excited about work orders. I've got another question. Do I have to have a scope report to use Prodocs? No, that's also a great question. You can definitely get into Prodocs and build templates, but you won't have the data brought in automatically from our scope reports, so you'd have to enter all of that automatically. So yes, you can get into Prodocs, create a new template, assign your unit pricing, and then enter all of your quantities that you have on your own and generate a document. It will do that calculation for you. You just have to enter all of the quantities manually. So, all right. Looks like we don't have any more questions. Thank you all so much for attending. We really hope that you see the value of Prodocs. It'll be even more so when we roll out work orders, so stay tuned for new updates and changes to Prodocs. We're really excited about this tool. We hope that it brings a lot of value to you and is a huge time savings. Again, we're here for any questions you have. Just email us or call us, and thank you for your time today.